The next thing we are going to be doing is the waist dart. So right here, I'm going to be having 1 inch for the waist. Here's 1 inch for the waist. This 1 inch is not fixed. You may have to reduce it, but it should not be more than that actually. So we have 1 inch for the waistline, and then let's connect it. Then you come down by 1 inch from this chest line. You see that? So that is where you start the connection of your waistline. So you connect from this 1 inch below and then connect it to the waistline like this, and then you repeat the same thing right here. So once you do that, the next thing is you extend that 1 inch line. You extend it to, like, you see this point, we have 2 inches right here. 2 inches. This point is 2 inches below the waistline. You still remember? I'm sure you do. So we are going to have to row. So and then you put that 1 inch dart also right here, and then you connect these 2 points. So after connecting this point, the distance is okay. I mean, the dart is almost done, but mind you, you may still have to reduce this dart. It doesn't have to be always it doesn't have to always be 1 inch. It may be lower than that. The dart may be smaller than that. So now that you've done that, the next thing you want to do is how do I call it? Mark this point. You come right from this line of the across chest. You come by, let's say, 0.75, or sometimes you may make it 1 inch, and then from that 0.75 you want to take your long ruler and mark from this point. You see what I'm doing? Straight down. So you can see that. So this point, you're also going to be having another dart at this point, but the dart you are going to be having at that point should be a very small dart, and that should be about half of an inch. Let's say half of an inch, a quarter to both sides. Yes, half of an inch dart. Then you connect that. You connect that to your to your chest line. You have that connected to your chest line on both sides. And then also right to about 2 inches before your hip line. Yes. So that is another dart we have to, like, put. And then the next thing we do is, so right now I'm going to have to measure. I needed my chest, I mean my waist is 34. I mean my waist circumference is 30 inches, and I added 4 inches to that. So that makes it 34, and half of that is 17. So I'm going to have to measure all the points I have right here. So this is 6 inches plus 6 inches right here plus about 3.5. That's about 9.5, almost 9.5. So now if I continue to add this is almost 13. This 12.75, and if I add it to this right here, I'm having about 16.5. So my 16.5, that means my 16.5 is actually not up to the ease I had it for, how do I call it? For the calculations I did for my waist, which is 30 plus 4. So it is still cool if you have your waist lower than the hips for your waist lower than 4 inches. In fact, if you still have it about 3 inches and 2.5, it is still very cool. So that's it But in a case where you don't have it, you have to reduce this dart, and then probably this dart. So this dart doesn't have to be always 1.5, so you have to reduce it in case you measure and then all you have for your waistline is not up to your waist measurement plus at least 2 inches. So in my case I have 16.5, and that gives me about 16.5, that should be 33, and I have 34. So I'm still going to be deducting like a half of an inch from here, so I'll be left with 16, which is 32. So I still love it that way. That 32 is still going to be cool for me at the waistline. It doesn't always have to be 4 inches at the waistline, but it has to be 4 inches at the chest line. So that's it. This will be my side panel, this will be my front panel, and then my back panel. So another thing to do before we go, now we fixed the side panel, the side panel is almost ready, the back panel is almost ready. The next thing we need to deal with is now the lapel. Let's work on the lapel. So I'm going to be adding about 0.75. That will be my button stand, and I'm adding that on the waistline. 0.75 right. So right here I want to go about half of an inch above that point. Half of an inch above it. So from that half of an inch above, I want to come back to my neckline and mark 3 inches. And you know what that 3 inches is? That 3 inches is the calculation you have for, I made for my chest circumference divided by 12. If you don't forget, I did at the back. So you are going to be connecting from this point to that 3 inches line at the back, and then you extend, you see that, then you extend that point also. Once you do that, the next thing you want to do is come here by let's say a half. We can do that by about half of an inch. Half of an inch is good, but I'm going to be making mine 1 inch. Yes. And then that 1 inch, you place your curve ruler to do your this thing. Let me use this. This one should be cool. Is it? Yes. So you place your curve and then connect it to this point. I don't know if someone is getting this, but don't worry, it's going to be cool. So you just like adjust this curve. This curve needs to be adjusted, so you can see that. Oh, sorry, one more thing to do before this adjustment. This line should actually go past it should go past the M line, because normally the front is supposed to be a little bit longer than the back. So I'm going to have it for 0.75 longer. I'm going to be connecting it right to this point. Yes, you can see I had this stop at the side panel. So once you have this done, then you can now make your curve. And after that curve, we've done this, and then the next thing we need to do is the lapel. So on this issue of lapel, I want to try and make the 3 types of lapel right here. And it's good I'm using a pencil so I can erase and try all the 3 lapels, so you can know the types of lapels we have and how you can draft a pattern for one of them. So I have 3 inches right here. You can see I have 3 inches. If I want to make my lapel width, I want from this point I may want to make it 3 inches, but I love a wide lapel. I so much love a wide lapel, so I'm going to be making this 4 inches. It is cool. You know what I'm saying now? I have to like make myself look like, I have to make myself look like I'm big, and that is what a wide lapel does for you. So I want a wide lapel. I'm going to be making that 4 inches. From this point to this point is 4 inches, and after that then I connect. So just like this. So this kind of stuff I'm doing right here is what I call the notch lapel. That is the first one we are going to be doing, the notch lapel. So you can see for the notch lapel, I come in from here, from the tip here, you come in about 1 1/4, and you mark the point, and then from that point you go up again by 1 1/4, you mark the point, and you connect. So once you connect this point, right here you have your notch lapel. That is one way to do your notch lapel. Let's adjust this a bit. I think the mouth is too wide, so you don't want it too wide. You want to do the adjustment. Okay, it's cool like this, and then 1.25 here, 1.25 here. So that is one way to do a notch lapel. So now let's go to the collar. For the collar, I want to go in should we go to the collar? Yes, we need to go to the collar. For the collar, this extension that you drew, you have to come back here to the back part and measure what you have here. This is 3.5 that I have here. So you are going to have to place your 3.5 inches right here. So, and on that line, you may want to come down like this by 0.75. So this is 0.75 line, then you connect right to this point from the point with a curve. That's cool. And then you measure what you have, the distance you have from here to here. And in my case, I think it's 0.75. And then you mark your, from here, you mark your 0.75 as well. And then you connect that to with a slight curve. It should be with a curve, actually. So once you do this, you smoothen this edge. It shouldn't be too sharp like that. So once you have that edge smoothened, another thing to do is this point, sorry, you have to go in about half of an inch. Yeah, that is important, and connect it right here. Aha. So that makes a good distance. So once you've done that, you now connect from this point and you mark. And then my collar, I want it to be 3 inches wide. Yeah, 3 inches wide. Then you mark from this tip to this point. You can have that with a curve. You connect that with a curve. Let me see if I'm going to be having a curve. A nice curve here. Okay, this is cool. So, and once you do this, then our collar is ready. So this will be our collar, and this lapel is a notch lapel. You can see that that's a notch lapel. So now, if you want to make it, what do I call it? Peak lapel. Yes. So another way to make it a peak lapel is let me erase this. So if you want the peak lapel, instead of having to stop here, you just extend this line coming right here, you extend it. So when you extend it, then you can extend it by about 1/4 of an inch or more. It depends on your preference. Then you connect it back to this point. And once you connect it to this point, so you can just add your collar. You see the collar that we had to remove the other time? You can just put it back there. So this is how to make a peak lapel. When you remove your collar, you have this pointed part, and that is just the difference between So if you're having a peak lapel, it means you will have to like this ones will not be useful anymore. So this is what a peak lapel will look like. And then the third one, actually these two are just very similar. And then the third one is the short lapel, and for that short lapel, what do you do is, let's erase this again. Let's erase all these points again. And then with your curve, you connect right straight. You connect straight to the collar. You can see that. Yes, you make it a straight line. I mean, a curve actually, and then you connect. So in that case of a short lapel, you won't be having all this pointed, all this fishtail. It's just going to go straight, and it will be fixed with the collar. In that case, you won't have to be removing the collar anyways. So it is just always drafted with the collar. But what we are going to be doing now, I want you all to like help me choose what you think you want us to do. Do you want a short lapel, a peak lapel, or a notch lapel? I want us to deliberate on that. After watching this video, whichever one you think you want, just let me know. And that is exactly what we are going to be working on. So make sure you watch the video on time, and then so that we can continue on time. So once we have the collar, but actually I don't know, I want a comment from you people on that actually. So once we do this, I think it's almost ready. The stuff is almost ready. The next thing we have to do is the pocket. So the side pocket, I want to be having the side pocket. So for the side pocket, you go about from that leg, you go out about half of an inch, and then from that half of an inch point, you mark your dart. In my case, I want my pocket to be 5.75. I love it at 5.75. Then you rule straight down, and then here as well you rule down straight, and then you can make this 2.5 is cool at 2.5. So the design you want for it actually will solely depend on you. You may like it straight, and you may like it a bit curved like this. So it's actually a matter of choice. So one more thing to do is this straight line coming from here, you want to like create a little dart, like a quarter of an inch dart from that point, and then connect right to this center point. Yeah, that is important too. And the reason for this extension is so that when you close the dart, you won't have this upper part shorter than the lower part. So once we do this, what do you think we still need to do? The chest pocket. Okay, the chest pocket, I would like it at 4 inches or 4.5. Let me say 4.5 inches. 4.5 inches, that is 2.25 to both sides. And then you extend this point by 1 inch, and you mark 1 inch, and you mark straight to this line. Now you can see what that is. And once you have that, then you mark from here, so you have your 1 inch. Is that it? Yes, your 1 inch, and then you connect that also to this point. So in this way, our chest pocket is also ready. So what is the next thing we will be doing? Sorry, there's no next thing. The only thing we have to do right now is to cut it out. But before I cut it out, I will be waiting for your response on the type of collar you want us to do, so I can draft the collar and cut it out with whatever type of collar you want. So thank you for watching.